Hello, Senior Stoner fan. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco, Proxy, and Bub dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. As always, you know what to do when you like the video. Hit the subscribe button. Send a like, and I'll reply to everybody's comments. Let's get started with today's interesting topic. You know I built these videos out of my life, out of life in general. What's going on in the world around me, what I see. Let's just call it unrest. I've become emotionally exhausted. So I want to figure out how I'm going to deal with my emotional exhaustion during time of unrest in the world. Because no matter what side of the issue you fall on, last couple of years have been full of change and trauma. Local and world events bring strong emotions and stressors out, one after the other. I'm not just talking about social unrest. What if you've got a high-pressure job? What if you've got financial stress? What if you're a caregiver? What if you got kids? What if you experience loss? What if you've got chronic pain or a chronic illness? You're going to be wondering what's next and what else do I have to endure? Well, as the events of the world unfold, we're going to begin to feel unwell and irritable and struggle to concentrate and motivate ourselves because of all the crap we're seeing and hearing. No multimedia. How about TV? How about a newspaper? How about a magazine? How about just walking on the street? We're seeing these things. And we're trapped. We're stuck. We're emotionally exhausted. Why? Because when stress begins to accumulate from negative to challenging events, and they keep coming, people find themselves in a state of feeling emotionally worn out and drained. It's called emotionally exhausted. For most people, emotional exhaustion tends to slowly build up over time. It includes emotional, physical, and performance symptoms: anxiety, apathy, depression, feeling hopeless, feeling powerless, irritability, lack of motivation, nervousness, tearfulness. You can have fatigue, a headache, not want to eat, be sore physically. And you're going to not be able to meet your deadlines. You're going to not be interested in work. You're not going to want to go to work. And you're going to be slower at what you do. How do we treat emotional exhaustion if we're constantly bombarded with the horrors of what's going on in the world? Well, we've got to recognize the stressors. And we've got to minimize or eliminate them if we can. But if we're unable to change the stressor because it's out of our control, it's important to focus on the present. And in the present, there are neutral or positive events happening. So if we focus on those type of events, we get perspective on what's happening around us. Because stress is often interpreted the old-fashioned way as a threat to survival. And when that happens, it increases those good old hormones, which continues to give us flight or fright. So the amount of stress hormone can be decreased if you're feeling emotionally balanced. Now, eliminating or minimizing the stressor where possible can help. So can eating right. So can exercising. So can sleeping well. So can mindfulness. But if you can't get past the stressors of what's happening in the world and they're affecting you, talk to a professional, please, because you're suffering from emotional exhaustion. I'm there. I've been there. I understand. So it's all about how you overcome it once you understand it. You've got to spot the small opportunities to allow us to rest our brains. Think about it for a second. There's not a lot of time in a day for most people. It's mindfulness while you're moving, if that makes any sense. And it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Try to reduce the sensory input. I know it's difficult because it includes light, it includes noise. So if you need to take a sensory input reduction, you can't watch TV, you can't go on the internet, you can't go outside, so you can't do that. But maybe what we can do is find a way to put ourselves in a situation throughout the day where we're in a bit more control over what we're seeing, hearing, and doing. You know, the channel doesn't turn by itself on a television. The magazine doesn't open by itself. It takes us to do it. So we have to give ourselves permission. Permission, even though there's a lot going on, to just let go. Because the to-do list is never ending. There's no need to feel guilty for trying to relax. Part of being an adult, in fact, is knowing ourselves well and knowing what to do and how you can genuinely relax, feel comfortable, and feel sustained. Whatever it is you enjoy, whatever it is, do it. Allow yourself to quietly enjoy the simple pleasures of your life. And that's the way it should be. We have to stop being unrealistic about how much we can get done. There's so many things we want to fix in our lives, in our homes, in our friends' lives, our relatives' lives, the world. We can't do it all. It's a modern world, and you're never going to get to the bottom of the to-do list like that. So, remind yourself that the world is full of opportunities. There are always more, and more, and more, and more. And guess what? Even if you don't take this opportunity and choose to pass it by, there's going to be another opportunity coming down your way. So we have to learn to prioritize. And it's a prioritization that pays dividend. You're looking for something that when you put input in, shows a result that's beneficial to you. So if you prioritize and learn to set yourself up in a more, let's call it, mental and physical energy direction over time, guess what you'll find out? You'll find out that you can overcome mental exhaustion easily. The most important and first thing we have to do when thinking about overcoming mental exhaustion is admitting we are mentally exhausted. Then identifying what's exhausting us, then finding some strategies to cope with it, to minimize it or eliminate it. You see, we all have these issues. This is not stuff that Senior Stoner just figured out on his own. These are things that exist, that common people, everybody deals with. So what we're trying to do here today is say, you know what? We understand that life can be full of difficult situations, maybe all the time. And in that understanding, we go to step 2, which is the coping. And pushing through. And being successful. And being the person you want to be. All while having the difficulties that life gives. Because you see, it is not impossible for us to overcome mental exhaustion. The world's a tough place out there right now. We see it, we hear it, we feel it. We're being inundated by the unrest in the world. Take a hit with your favorite device. Take a second hit with your favorite device. And even a third hit. And keep on taking those hits. Because you, we can overcome mental exhaustion and emotional exhaustion. Hope everyone appreciated today's topic. I think it's relevant because it's happening today. It's in the world. It's what we're seeing. It's how we're living. So let's all take a grip and learn how to deal with the emotional exhaustion that's facing us. Thanks for being here. Hit the subscribe button. Send a like. I'll reply to all the comments. It's been me, the Real Senior Stoner. Cheers and have a wonderful day, everybody. And thanks for being here, as always.